Dart Talk carries the Internet Broadcast Rating TVD, a broadcast that is specifically designed to be viewed or heard by the darting community, and therefore may be incomprehensible to other lesser mammals. Darter discretion advised. Dart Talk carries the Internet Broadcast Rating TVD, a broadcast that is specifically designed to be viewed or heard by the darting community, and therefore may be incomprehensible to other lesser mammals. Darter discretion advised.
It's time for Dart Talk, brought to you by thedartzone.com. Stay in the zone. TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor, and Windy City Fabricators, America's premier fabricators of orthotics and prosthetics, and Redwood Darts, America's newest tungsten darts. Stand straight and tall and hit them all. Redwood Darts. And now, here are your hosts, Mystery Mark and Steve P.
Okay, welcome to Dart Talk.
Welcome.
Another Wednesday.
Yes, it is.
October?
October 2nd.
Bucktober?
Darttober?
No, it's Bucktober, apparently.
Bucktober.
Self-proclaimed the pirates.
All right, I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
I'll let you know. Anyway, welcome everybody around the world in the chat room. Dart Talk brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
DartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks. Windy City Fabricators and Redwood Darts. Chat room girl's with us tonight. She's grumpy. Be nice. Mystery Mark, Steve Pronunciaman here. Lot to talk about. Kind of an odd weekend in darts, I guess. I don't know.
Why is that?
I don't know. Let's just disclaim something.
That's
for
what
the
I was
heck
going
of
to
it.
say.
Let's just right off the bat. Yeah, it's that kind of a. It's going to be that kind of a day.
The views, opinions, rants, and rampages expressed on Dart Talk do not necessarily reflect individually or collectively those of our sponsors, co-sponsors, wannabe hosts, hearing-impaired critics, or those with a penchant for attitudinal dysfunction. We at Dart Talk strive to provide you, the listener, with an educational, entertaining, and fun-filled experience each and every week. If after the show you, the listener, find yourself feeling uneducated, unentertained, and or bored, we at Dart Talk consider that your own problem.
And good luck with all that.
Enough said.
Yeah. Well, no, because they're calling it Bucktober because the Pirates are in the playoffs for the first time in, I don't know, like 2 decades, 21 years, something like that.
Right.
But apparently we are now on par, on level with, at the same level as Sports Illustrated. Because we had Dave Cameron on last week.
Right.
Talking about the Canadian WDF team.
Mm-hmm.
And they got absolutely plowed.
So we're the Sports Illustrated Jinx? Is that
we're
what
the
you're
Jinx,
saying?
yeah. We're the Sports Illustrated Jinx because we had Dave Cameron on, and Canada lost 9-1 to, I believe, Sweden.
All right.
They started the WDF
he said he
today.
thought they had a good shot.
Is that what I said? What did I
No,
say
not
off the
you.
air?
I thought he said that.
Well, he did, and it happens. Guys, if you're on a team with 4 or 5 guys and everyone's having a bad day the same day. Mm-hmm. Good luck with that.
Right.
It's not going to win. And I guess they had the round robin today, and then they had the first round of the men's doubles. And then I'm looking because I saw women playing. And I can't find any women's results. I don't know what the women were doing. But I saw them playing.
Practice round.
Yeah. Anyway, I did post on the Dart Talk Facebook page. I posted a link to where you can find the live stream for the WDF World Cup. And it's still on our Facebook page. Live stream.
How'd the U.S. do?
How'd the U.S. do? They won. They did well in their round robin. They came out of their group first, and then they beat somebody in the first round. So,
that's good.
Yeah, I don't know how they did the draw, but basically they have to play. They beat Finland, I believe it was, and then relatively easily. Well, I don't know about easily. I mean, they won 9-4. That's not close in my book, but the score doesn't always reflect the nature of a match. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
And then they have to play Denmark tomorrow, and then the winner of that plays the winner of England and Wales. So I mean, to be in England's half, I'm pretty sure they're a heavy favorite to win.
Yeah.
The Canadians losing at home, it's got to be like devastating.
Devastating.
Well, yeah, I mean, these guys,
Upsetting.
are really looking forward to playing and stuff like that, and then they don't play well. They're going to
Right.
be disappointed. I mean, there's no money in it. It's more or less an international club tournament when you think about it. It's not like open to everybody. You got to be a member of this, member of that, whatever. But we sent a good team, and so far they're proving
They're
that.
doing
I
well.
think they're doing pretty well so far. I didn't really, it's kind of weird. The streaming that they have, the picture quality is good, but the camera's pretty far away, so it's kind of hard to tell what's going on. You can kind of recognize who's playing, but you can't really see the score real well. You can't really see what they're doing. So hopefully tomorrow will be a little better. I know they've been steadily improving. I tried to watch the opening ceremonies, and they were introducing every team, and I think by the time they got to Germany, the thing just kind of like went away. Sorry, error. Try again later. And I
Right.
was like, well, it was good timing for me because it was a banner raising, and the Hawks were playing last night anyway.
Yeah.
So I was like,
So you were
didn't have a
happy to see
conflict there. I don't know. I think we're going to be good. I think we're going to be good this
Hopefully
year. I
that's not
think
the Sports Illustrated jinx.
Well, no, that would be if we get Patrick Kane on the show, he's going to end up with an ACL.
Yeah,
So
right.
I could see why none of the Blackhawks
Good
will
luck
come on
getting
the
him
show.
on the show.
But
That
you don't
would be
think Kane will
impressive.
come on? I bet you I can get a Blackhawk on the show.
You think?
How much you want to bet? Oh no, I definitely. I think I could do it. You got to know where these guys hang out.
That would be interesting.
You know.
I'm not going to place that wager, but I would be
I
hard
don't-
pressed to figure out that we could get a Blackhawk.
I
on the
was
show.
talking to a guy. There's a guy around Chicago. His name is Tony Booth, and he did. He was a professional dart player. He's a transplanted guy from the UK, but I believe he did a Miller Lite commercial as a dart player in the 80s. And I don't think I've ever been able to find it on YouTube. But he was telling me one of the things that we need to do to get darts going in America is have celebrities play.
Okay, that kind of makes a little bit of sense.
Well, no. I used to go to this tournament in Jackson, and Bill Lambier would play, and all I wanted to do was go over there and just smack him over the head with a chair. As a Bulls fan.
Well, yeah. Right.
So I'm like, I don't know about, those kinds of celebrities, but I mean, if Paris Hilton suddenly picked up darts, I'm pretty sure it would help.
Oh, and I'm sure she would come on the show
celebrity.
too. Yeah,
You don't think Paris Hilton would come on the show?
I highly doubt it.
Do you want her to come on the show? Do you want me to get her?
Yeah,
Should
that
we
would be
effort that?
fantastic. Sure.
Maybe we should get Check Room Girl on it. We'll give her an assignment to get
get
celebrities
Paris
on,
Hilton on the show?
Since she can't get anybody else on the show. She couldn't get Scotty Kirchner. Maybe she can get Paris Hilton. I don't know. Anyway, we do have some.
Something in my throat.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll bet. Did you? I printed something up for you. We got some
You did.
NWDS
You wanna
news. Well,
do this news right now.
Yeah, we may as well get it up top because we had a hometown event in Chicago
Yeah.
over the weekend, our second one, and that should go ahead and read that.
The hometown
verbatim.
event was held Sunday at Gamblers in Chicago. It was won by Ken McCowan. The runner-up was John McCreary. Due to prior obligations, Ken will not be able to play in New Orleans. Therefore, the spot was awarded to John. And then
Cannon fodder.
Cannon fodder. This coming weekend, hometown events will be held in Chattanooga, Richardson, Texas, and Kansas City. Pre-registration saves $10 and closes at midnight Eastern Standard Time the night before the event. Register at www.newworlddartseries.com. Registration is now open for the NWDS number 3 New Orleans. Registration is online at the same website via PayPal or credit card. The registration will close October 28th or when the event is full.
Whichever comes first, I assume there.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Well, I would hope so. I mean, I can't imagine they're still going to register if the event's full.
I don't know.
before
That's what
October
Darts
20th.
Live did. They have a waiting list, and then if anybody drops out, they pick somebody
okay.
up off the waiting list. So, I kind of figured this one was going to fill up quick because why not go to New Orleans in November?
Right.
Well,
Of course, if the event is not sold out by the close of registration, it will be extended. However, it will cost an extra $50.
what if you register past October
28th.
28th? So they got a month. Okay.
Right. Don't miss your chance to play in the last event of the 2013 NACT season. If you have played only one NACT Tour event this year, play in New Orleans makes you eligible for the 2013-14 North American Singles Championship.
Right, and that's the thing that people need to realize. So if they go to Sacramento and you play in Sacramento, there's 2 singles events in Sacramento, and that comes, I think, the first weekend in November.
Okay.
The PDC in Sacramento. So you have to have played 2 events to qualify for the
championship series. And
yeah, and that's going to be great. That's going to be like $10,000 of the winner or something. It's going to be the biggest singles tournament in America next year. So how do you not want to be part of that?
Right.
I mean, I don't really. Just keep me off of politics today, okay? Because
We'll do our
the more I think about all
the
all
government
this
is
politics,
shut down, so
let's shut down the DART government.
That
Do
would be
that.
nice,
How do
wouldn't
you
it?
shut down the DART government?
would be
Because
great.
believe me, if it was up to the darters,
thought
they
we were
would.
supposed to
They'd
keep you
get
off
rid of
of
all
this.
these guys. I swear to God. I mean, WDF, BDO, ADO.
we need a DART shutdown, a government DART shutdown.
Yeah, shut down the DART government
Right.
so that people can just go play. I mean, there was something I saw on Facebook where somebody qualified to play in the Winmau Masters, but to their chagrin found out that they weren't invited because they lacked a membership to an organization. And
But yet they won the tournament that's supposed to.
well, yeah, I mean, they
qualify you for
earned,
that.
and so, like an idiot, I go on the the BDO website to kind of see, who's qualified for what, and it's a joke. They, it's like they have somebody listed as a winner that didn't win something. Then on another one, there's like, well, nobody qualified. Because why?
They weren't part of the. They
Yeah, so
weren't
they're
a member.
not. Yeah, they're not listing. It says winner or whatever, but actually, what they're listing is who we're taking from this event, and it's not necessarily the winner. So it's like, where's all this stuff written down? I mean, because when you go to an American event, it says it's a WDF ranked event, and you win. You're supposed to get an invitation. That's what everybody thinks. But if you look on the flyer, there's nothing written down there. Nobody knows. I'm supposed to know the rules of some tournament run in England. I'm supposed to know what this is because I don't.
Right.
And apparently
nobody else does
somebody
either.
else didn't either. And to be honest, if your interest is just in promoting your own membership, like let's say, for the sake of argument, there's plenty of DART organizations that are like that, where it's like, well, only our members can play. Okay, only your members can play. That's fine. So don't call it a world championship. Don't call it anything but a club tournament is kind of my attitude. That's the thing about Darts Live is like basically they'll let anybody play. I mean, except apparently they did ban like a couple of people associated with one of their competitors, which, I've gone on the record on this stuff that nobody should be banned from anything, but, who starts it? Right, it was the BDO started banning the PDC players when the PDC players broke away. Okay, so they started banning people, and then the PDC banned something, and then everybody forgets who did what first.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you're interested in promoting the game, then you promote the game. If you're interested in just like your own people, well, fine, then be that way. The problem that I have with somebody like the WDF is they say, well, we're the governing body of World Darts. Really? Because lots of people don't even know who you are, and they play darts all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're a governing body of. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Because they
right?
make the rules.
Yeah, but
They
they
make
only
their
make
own rules.
They make their own rules,
Right.
but it's only for their people. So I don't have to follow them. What do I care what the BDO does? Right? I mean, I go to the these tournaments and I play whatever I play,
Right,
but
then you're
if
disqualified from going to certain
if
tournaments.
I go to a tournament and they're charging a $2 fee to the WDF, and then I win, and they say, well, you're still not getting the invite. Well, what is that?
Right.
You
Why should you pay
does
those
it?
$2 then?
Well, again, I don't know. I don't think we should be paying anything. I think everybody should just say we're not going to pay this anymore. And I think it's on the tournament organizers. Tournament organizers need to be like, you know what? I don't want this. Don't sanction. I don't want to be sanctioned by you.
Right.
I don't want to be sanctioned by you. I don't want to be sanctioned by you. And just have your tournament, and people will show up and play anyway
'Cause,
with a
yeah.
smile on their face. Nobody cares. Very few people care about
How
this
many
stuff.
people are you really going to lose from a tournament if you're not WDF
Nobody.
sanctioned?
If Virginia Beach if somebody doesn't go to Virginia Beach because they're not going to get ADO points, then I don't think anybody's really going to miss them.
Right.
To be honest.
And how
with
many?
you.
I mean, really, you're not even going to lose 10%, 5% of your entries. You know,
I don't think you'd
people.
lose any because
Right.
the singles pay is like $1,000. How many tournaments of all the serious tournament players who are the ones that are more likely to be concerned about getting
About
points
those
for
points,
this and
right.
points for that? They're going to pass up a tournament like this because they're not going to get ADO
Where
points.
it's still $1,000. Yeah.
You'll never sell that to me.
Right.
The problem is everybody just keeps doing the same thing anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, why is this tournament sanctioned? Well, we always have been. Well, what's the logic there? You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. See, I told you, get me off of politics. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Dart Talk with Steve, Mark, Chatroom Girl. We'll be right back. Okay, back for the second quarter, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
DartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks, Windy City Fabricators and Redwood Darts.
How's that? Take a deep breath. Are you all right now?
I'm just to the point where maybe it's because it's October. Maybe because, we don't really have an off season anymore. But the season's winding down.
Winding down, right? That's what I was going to say.
When I'm looking back at stuff, because I went out and cleaned out all my dart stuff the other day. And I'm, what am I going to do with all these trophies? And what am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with this? And I find a set of Dynastar flights that I kept from 2005 and all this. So I'm looking at all this. I'm looking at all I've accumulated and all this stuff. And I'm like, and then you're still dealing with the same problems that you had 7 years ago.
Well, it's the same concept. You
and
didn't
the
throw
same
anything
people.
out,
well,
and nobody throws anything out.
No, well, including apparently people that run the ADO.
Right.
But I mean, I'm looking at these organizations. I look at the Dart League in Chicago, and I look at the ADO, and 7, 8 years, it's the same people, and you have the same problems. So when are people going to realize, that if you want to, if you want to renovate a neighborhood and there's an eyesore building in a prime location, you don't build around it, you tear it down. It's the only way you're going to make something better. What you got, Sass?
By the way, Team Canada played awesome to get out of their round robin, beating Netherlands and almost beating Wales.
Okay. Well,
I had a
congrats
ding.
Congrats to them for getting out of the round robin.
It
It's
was
a tough round robin group.
After
Wales and
right.
And who? Who was it?
It wasn't even a Canadian that said that. It's a great.
I'm asking who was in the group.
They beat Wales and who?
Netherlands.
Netherlands.
Wow, they beat the Dutch. Okay. I don't know who was on the Dutch team, but
They
you would
beat the
think that they'd
Dutch,
be
yeah.
pretty strong. Yeah. Well, good for them. I don't know what happened in the knockout
The
round.
first round.
9-1. 9-1's a total beatdown.
It was a wake-up call, apparently.
Well, I don't know. A bad match at the wrong time. You know what I mean? It's happened to everybody. It's happened to me. It's happened to you,
Yes.
right? So,
Of course.
what are you going to do? That's too bad.
You were talking about a Masters invite.
Right. Well,
What is it?
or somebody not getting an invite.
Not
yeah.
getting an invite. And what's it worth?
What's it worth? I don't
What's
know.
the invite to?
The invite is to participate in the Winmau Masters, which used to be, 30 years ago, a very prestigious tournament, and which is now, from a prestige standpoint, practically nil compared to what it was before.
Why does it sound like we're always talking about somebody trying to get an invite every week?
Well, for some reason, people want to go to this thing. And, like the ADO runs a tournament and will fund partially sending, I think, 4 or 5 people, like 4 guys and 1 woman or something, to this tournament that, if you play in the league in England and you have perfect attendance, you get in too. So, I mean, it's kind of a cattle call.
Oh, you don't even have to
dart
play well. You
players.
just have to show up every week.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, when you think, and that was the first thing that when I read this, I was like, well, this is silly. The idea somehow that it's an honor to play in this tournament, I think, is ludicrous. But, it's harder for somebody outside of Britain to get into it than somebody inside of Britain. But, be that as it may, if you play it, if you play a tournament under a certain set of assumptions, and then it turns out that you were wrong, well. But I went on the BDO website and they listed the Vegas Open as having no winner. Right, I'm pretty sure I was there when Gary Mawson beat Wes Newton.
Right.
Right, and then they give a spot to the. They give these spots away for no apparent reason that I can tell, but they gave a spot to Ken Swanson, and listed him as the America's cricket champion. Which he wasn't because he lost the final to Darren Young. But, Darren's not going to sign a waiver or anything. And Darren's plays the World Championship on the PDC. So apparently he doesn't exist. They can't list him as the winner and say, whatever.
So they're listing winners
They just
that
pretend.
didn't win.
Yeah. I mean, their attitude is like all this stuff. It's like, did you remember Soap? The
Yes.
show Soap.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the guy who would just snap his fingers and then say he was invisible? That's
Right.
kind of what the BDO does with other people. They're just like, you know what, the PDC? Boop, 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 boop. It's invisible. It doesn't exist. Darts Live, boop, 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 boop. Nope, that doesn't exist.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a weird organization to be in charge of anything, that I can tell. That's why, Dart government shutdown sounds good to me.
So what do you think?
Well,
gets people,
well, what it's worth.
do people play? Do you think they play in these tournaments because of the invite to the Winmau Masters, or are they just it's still playing in a tournament to win the money
I
for
think
first place?
Well, I can't speak for any of the tournaments that are held except for the ones in America. And I've seen people come and play in WDF ranked events to get WDF points and stuff like that. So there are some people that do it, but I don't think any Americans do it. I mean, it doesn't, to spend $1,500 or $1,600 to go and play the Winmau Masters. You could play 4 other tournaments in America for that kind of money, and what good is playing in the Masters? Isn't that the one that was in the ice rink a couple of years ago? I mean, why even bother? You know what I mean? Oh, wow, I'm going to go play in England. I mean,
Do they? I mean, what's the payout in the Winmau Masters?
well, it's pretty good for the guys that have a buy into the money. That payout's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim Widmer was 1 match away from being in the money, and I think he won 7 matches and got on TV, and that was where he missed all those doubles, remember? And we had him on the show.
Yeah.
And he didn't make a dime. So, okay,
You win 7
$1,500.
matches and don't make a dime.
Yeah. So $1,500 to go play in that event is sort of like, why even bother? You know what I mean? That's you got people, and these are the same people that will say, well, I don't want to go to, I don't have the money to go to Vegas and play, but you'll spend the money to go play in this tournament. I mean, really? I don't know. I mean, we're going to have to at some point come up with a system where people can look at it and say, like, we'd have to come up with some sort of a chart where it says, if you want to play top-level darts in America, these are the tournaments you want to go to. If you're a recreational player, but you're interested in qualifying for this, that, or the other thing, these are the tournaments to go to. If you just want to have a good time and maybe make a little money, these are the tournaments to go to, and give some people some guidance. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of the dart players are so confused with the alphabet soup and all this stuff. And I mean, there's I guarantee you, I could go to a soft tip dart tournament somewhere where nobody's heard of the WDF, nobody's heard of the ADO. They haven't given these people a dime. They don't really care about them, you know. And it's like, oh, but these are the guys that are ruling your sport because you don't even know they exist. I mean, that's some kind of ruler. That's like an underworld kind of thing. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I'm not really. But to answer your question, what is a Masters invitation worth?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be a professional dart player and you want to get sponsors and you want to get this, that, and the other thing, you want to play high-profile tournaments. You're just going to have a hard time convincing me that the Win-Ma Masters is a high-profile tournament.
Oh, okay.
It was at one time. And they keep trading. Maybe it's a British thing, you know, but they keep trading on their tradition as if somehow that's of value. Like, hey, we've had this tournament for 40 straight years. But so what? I'm here today. Look at this place.
Yeah,
you know, I'm supposed to be
high-profile.
like, oh, this is so cool because you guys did this for 40 years. I mean, what if you've been making the same mistake for 40 years? Would that be like something you brag about?
No, as long as you keep getting away with it.
Well,
sure.
I've never been one who like really put much stock in tradition. You know, never.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I'm a Cubs fan. It's not.
Well,
it
it's
doesn't have anything to do with tradition. It has to do with being born on the north side.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just kind of your team. And okay, they stink. I get it. You know?
Yeah, you're not going to give up on it.
What am I going to do? Be a fan of some other
Right.
team
Until they get good.
But I'm not one of these people that every year goes, "Oh, the Cubs, this is our year." Oh, yeah, you know, because I'm not dumb.
Right.
You know, I looked at the roster. You got a bunch of
You
guys
do
that
it,
can't
yeah.
play, and you're supposed to beat the Dodgers. I mean, that's not going to happen, or the Cardinals, or who, you know, whatever. So yeah, when it comes to tradition, I totally dismiss that, and maybe that's where I run afoul with a lot of the people that have been around the ADO for a long time. You
Well,
know?
tradition is still good in certain aspects. I mean,
I can't think of one.
Well, I mean, maybe not. In
I like the
darts.
handshake.
Maybe not in
No.
darts,
Let's
but-
talk about darts. I mean, I like the handshake at the beginning, at the end, but
Right.
not everybody does it. Some people do a fist pump. Some people don't.
But if we're trying to
But-
set up like our 4 majors for darts, you're trying to set up a tradition. You're trying to get 4. You're trying to get 4 tournaments every year that everybody wants to play in, and it's just like any other sport. You're trying to set up a tradition.
I don't. I wouldn't put it that way. I wouldn't say you're trying to set up a tradition. I think what you're trying to do is set up and define what the
Okay.
top events are.
So the Masters
from a-
isn't a tradition.
Well, it's a tradition that they have it every year. It's just that it was prestigious at one point, because there weren't that many tournaments, and it was one of the larger tournaments. But now it's like it's nothing.
Okay.
They ban the best players in the world from coming. So how are you going to have a prestigious tournament where you don't let good players play?
Right.
What is that? And I've been saying this all along, all these like, this club deal where you have to be a member. You have to be a member of this and a member of that. Well, the USGA doesn't have competition. Like if you want to be a pro golfer or you want to play in the U.S. Open, and you have to be a USGA member.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there aren't 10 other organizations saying that they're having a U.S. Open.
No, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Right.
There's nobody that disputes that the PGA of America is professional golf.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody disputes that. There isn't another like the OPGA,
Right.
the other professional
Right.
golfers who are running around having tournaments and all this stuff. You don't have that. I mean, what you basically have is organized anarchy in darts. Everything's decentralized because especially the ADO. In Britain it's different because they run the leagues, but in America the ADO doesn't do anything. They say they govern, but they really don't govern. They just collect money. But all the tournaments exist because the local people decide to have
Like
tournaments.
the arena football, or not the arena football, like the
No, they're really not.
USFL.
No, they're not. It's hard to describe. It's hard to describe an organization that's like them because they produce nothing, right? They collect money, but they don't, they have now, well, I mean, it depends on how you look at it, right? I mean, because you could say that the ADO runs Stanford, right? But it's actually Stanford is run by LB Darts. But the people who own LB Darts are on the ADO board. So, I mean, is it an ADO tournament or not? It sort of isn't. It sort of isn't. It depends on what happens, whether or not they want to deny they're doing it, right? Right. If something good happens, it's an ADO tournament. If something bad happens, no, it's LB Darts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all BS. It's all stupid, and it
Whatever-
doesn't really
whatever
matter. I mean,
benefits them.
you know, you want to show up. You want to show up and play darts. Go show up and play darts, right? If you're looking though, that you know, like whatever the person was that didn't get their invitation. I mean, I don't think they went to that tournament trying to get an invitation. It was just sort of like, oh, hey, I won, I get that too,
And then it didn't
kind of a
happen.
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Leonard Gates won in Stanford, and I think he won in Nashville. Well, I don't think he even knew that he could go to the Masters, and I don't think he will go. I doubt he'll go. I mean, he could, but I don't know.
But
If
he'll
he asked
actually
me,
get an
I'd say, why
invitation.
bother? I'd say, you know, take your money and go play the PDC in Sacramento, go play the NWDS in New Orleans, go to which city and go play that. It's on the Diddle Tour, but it's good money. Go to those tournaments. You get 3 for 1. Why are you going to go to England and play in that thing? And everybody's like, oh, I want to go. I'm
Right.
never going to.
Hi, Larry.
I'm never going to understand it.
Nobody's going to convince you otherwise.
You just feel like talking, or was
I
that
said hi to
meaningful?
Larry.
Larry who?
Gordon and Larry are listening.
Gordon and Larry are listening to the show?
Yep.
Oh, they should Skype in and tell us what happened in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the story of the day. I mean, I'm happy that the Americans did well, and to be honest, I didn't really want to cover this event. But, I mean, and if they would tell us what the women did today, I would like to know, because I could not find any women's results, and I did see women playing. So ask them in the chat room what the women did today. And if they want to Skype in, that's fine. But that's the story of the day, is Canada getting upset at home.
Right.
Right? I mean, I cannot imagine how distraught those guys are. They must be like on suicide watch. You know what I mean?
Especially since they got hammered.
Oh, well, it's probably easier to take
If you get
when
killed.
when you lose
Well.
9-1. If they would have lost 9-8, then they would have had a chance.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're down 5-1 and then you're down 6-1, at least you're getting used to the idea that this ain't happening.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
I mean, I would probably rather get killed that way than, you know, have a dart at a double and miss it and lose that
And
way,
lose.
because then one guy's going
You're
to
down
be like,
6-1, you can fight all you want, but you pretty much know that it's not going to happen. But you're tied 8-8, and
well,
you
look at
miss a
Dave.
dart at a double.
Well, look at Dave Cameron. I mean, Dave's a great player. He's a great guy. We like him. But if it would have been 8-8 and he would have had like 2 darts at a double to win it and missed them, I mean, I can't imagine how long it would take him to shake that off, especially since it's in Canada.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's in if you were, you know, somewhere else, you know, maybe it wouldn't be that bad. But, you know, you're representing your country. You've got the event in your home country. I mean, that's got to be brutal.
Yeah.
That's got to be totally brutal. All right, let's take another break. You're listening to Dart Talk. Sassy, Steve, and Mark will be right back. Okay, back for the second half, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks, Windy City Fabricators and Redwood Darts. No idea where we left off.
You're
There's
gonna tell
naked people
everybody-
in the chat room,
Yeah,
or
there's
half-naked people in the chat room.
Half naked, just half naked.
Since nobody's
Um,
Skyping in and nobody's going to see it, but you're going to tell everybody how they can listen to the show if they
Well,
need to.
I wrote that down to remind me because I always forget and I still get questions.
Mhm.
I had some guy last night, hey, aren't you doing the show tonight? I'm like, well, no, we do it on Wednesdays. And he's like, well, I thought it was Tuesdays. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that was 9 months ago.
Well, it was also 2 out of the last 4 weeks, so we did it on a Tuesday.
Well, and I stopped doing it too because it's kind of like if you're listening to the show, you already know how to listen. So why do I put in the show how to listen to the show? Because
Well,
you're
you
listening to
used
the
to.
show to hear me
Right.
say. Well, that's why I stopped doing it.
Yeah.
But we need to we need to reiterate it every now and then.
Right.
So in order to listen to the show,
Other than what you're doing right now.
you can listen to the show on iTunes. You can subscribe and have it downloaded automatically to your phone, which a lot of people do, and then, you hear it and stuff like that. You can get us on Stitcher.com, on TuneIn.com, on some other thing that some guy tweeted the other day. I mean, I don't know. Somebody just kind of hijacked our show and put it on somewhere else and
Really?
sent me a link to it, and I was like, okay, whatever. That works.
That's interesting.
Well, because, we make our show as available as we can. There's an RSS feed, and you can go and listen. We got, 100 shows archived or something by now? It's ridiculous. And then you could go to our YouTube page, which is Dart Talk US, all one word, and that's our channel.
Correct.
And then there's links to Twitter and all that stuff kind of up there too. So until the website is up, which isn't going to be this week, you can stop asking. That's kind of how you listen
Did you
to the
mention
show.
Stitcher and TuneIn? Did I missed it?
No, I did.
Okay.
I did. I mentioned that stuff.
I wasn't listening to you.
And to be honest, it's all kind of one and the same. There's probably 50 different ways to listen to the show. If you're an internet person, just set up the RSS feed and send an email to darttalk@gmail.com. I'll tell you how to do that, and you're all set and you're ready to go. And they're all up there. If you listen on YouTube, though, you should subscribe because you'll get an email when we put the video
it's
up.
uploaded.
Right. So every now and then, it gets up late. A couple weeks ago, for some reason.
It took 3 days.
Yeah. Well, I think what it was a couple weeks ago was this: when Apple changes its operating system, the whole world comes to a crashing halt until everybody can work with the new Apple thing. So I think that's what YouTube was doing, or finding some way to undermine them since they're Google people now.
Right. All right. Well, good.
So
now everybody knows.
Yeah, although I
For
was
now.
Oh no, what I was going to say is subscribe
Right.
to the
To YouTube.
to the YouTube channel, and you'll get an email when we upload the video, and then you could do it that way. So, did somebody just knock on the window? That was
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Someplace.
Oh,
Awesome.
I thought it was chat room girl.
Somebody. Nope,
I
wasn't
thought
me.
she's over here going like this.
Nope, wasn't me. I
Well,
got a bell.
No, she's got a bell.
I got a bell. I do have a funny though.
Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear it funny.
My my chat room, because they've been watching, following the U.S. team, and so they had a compliment. It says, I thought the U.S. did the Parade of Nations walk on really well. Left, right, kept it simple yet effective.
Nice. Oh, well, that was good because I couldn't see it. I tried to see it online, and live stream crashed. So it's good to know that they were walking in step.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, it's a funny looking bar graph when you get our team up there.
Right.
Nobody's the same height, I don't think.
We're the
or
same
they don't
size?
they don't appear to be the
The
same
height
height.
or the same size for that matter. What?
Well, they're a good bunch of guys, and I hope they really play well tomorrow because, if they get by Denmark, which I think they can do, the English have the pressure of being English, and they're not supposed to lose. And I think
And they're
if you
defending champions.
if you play well and you push them, I think when those guys tighten up and you have nothing to lose and you play like you have nothing to lose, I think you can bag them. And if you bag them, Canada's out. So all that's left is Australia. And those guys just take them to the bar, get a bunch of Fosters.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
It's Australian for beer.
I wonder if anybody did do the thing where they were calling the hotel rooms and stuff like we said
I don't
last
know.
week.
That would be so funny.
That would be funny. Find out if that happened.
I'm telling you, that's what they used to do to like the Boston LA series.
Yeah.
I mean, They were going
that's
by
why everybody
when the
goes-
Lakers were in Boston. Those guys didn't get any sleep.
That's why everybody
Right.
has a
Assumed name.
assumed name now because
Yeah.
they don't want that happening.
Well, we like that.
You were talking earlier about switching darts. Were you talking about you switching darts? Yours or switching from
Well, we were
plastic
supposed.
to
Well,
steel, or were you talking about?
Well, we were supposed to talk about this like 3 weeks ago. So this is kind of garbage day, where we're talking about all this stuff. We were like,
We're catching up.
we didn't get to 1 week and we didn't get to another week. But the idea is, or the reason I wanted to talk about it is, it's not the easiest thing to do, right? And it's killing me this year. I am now
From
on my
plastic to
third.
steel, or just to your redwood darts.
Well, what I'm doing is I'm stepping down my weight, and now I'm down to a playable weight for both soft tip and steel.
Okay.
But I started the year at 26 and a quarter. Of that's what my darts weighed with the flight and the shaft and everything on them, and now I'm under 22. But it took me like 3 sets to like slowly get down and down. And now that the redwood darts are done and I'm done, it was like what, 4 months of playing with prototypes and switch this. I'm finally down to a set of darts that I'm confident with, that they are set up the way I want, and the season's practically over.
Right.
And I'm just like, this is the second year that this happened, where I'm futzing around with my darts in January and I'm not done until the end of the year. It's just brutal. But I did
So
want
you
to
gonna do it again next year, or you think?
No,
you're
I think I'm
finally
done.
happy?
No, I think I'm done. I think I'm set for quite a while now. And it took some doing. It took a lot of trial and error. I was talking to a guy, and he's like, "Well, what do you use these flights for? What do you use these flights for?" And I'm like, "Well, really, because I tried 20 different other ones." And he's like, "Well, how do you know that these are the right flights?" And I'm like, "Well, here's what you do. Just throw your darts at the bullseye. Don't worry about hitting it, but don't look at the bullseye. Actually look at your darts in the air as they're flying." He's like, "Well, I can't do that." I'm like, "Why? It's right there." I mean, stare at your darts in flight. Tells you much more about the setup of your darts and the weight and stuff than anything else will. I mean, the only other thing you could do is have somebody else watching your darts in the air,
And tell you what's going on.
but then they need to kind of always do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know why I said that. Why I wrote that down. It was something that, we were supposed to get to a long time ago, but I'm really happy with the ones I have now. Now I only have one problem. Now I need to find the right steel points to put on on the new redwood
Right.
barrels that, because they're interchangeable points.
Yeah.
You can put soft tip on or steel or what have you. But I don't like the steel points I have now. So now I'm on this like quest to find the right points. And I found an old set of Jeff pickup points. And I'm like, I wonder if I can use these, because he made the best. When I first started playing, everybody was using the, kind of hammerhead PowerPoint movable,
Okay, right.
the springy. And I remember this one guy had a set of soft tip. It's specially constructed so that they would kind of like, had a little built-in spring. The theory was, when you had those movable points, you were more likely to hit the board when you hit a wire, which was
Okay.
never really proven to my satisfaction. And I would say, well, look, how come all these British pros aren't using them?
Right.
If it's supposed to be such an advantage, pretty sure they'd be using them, right? Stands to reason.
No,
Gee,
that
I
would
have a
make sense.
driver that gives me an extra 30 yards. You think
like
the
the-
pros are going to be like, nah, I don't need 30 yards.
It's like the anchored putter.
Yeah, well, I guess it's kind of like the anchored putter.
Because that's what they say. I mean, they say that they're banning the anchored putter, but everybody that says, well, they still say it doesn't help you any. It's just not in the rules.
Well, I think it helps
But-
you practice
but if
because
the
it's
point being was
bad
is
on your back.
If it was, the point being is if it really helped you, then wouldn't all the professionals be using it?
Well,
As opposed to only like 10% of the professionals are using it if it really helps you that much.
yeah, okay, I see where you're going with that. The thing with the PowerPoints, though, was that the vast majority of Americans were using them. When I first started playing almost 12 years ago, I got 12 years on Halloween this year, which I was just like shaking my head like, really? 12 years? Wow.
Actually started on Halloween.
Started on Halloween,
Oh, okay.
2001, yeah. So I have 12 years on Halloween, and, I don't know. It was kind of like Jeff Pickup made the best points, though. They didn't rattle. And Jeff, rest in peace. He was a good guy. But I ran across these the other night, and I'm like, I wonder if I can use these. And I looked, and they were so long. I was like, when did I ever use these things? So maybe that's why they were at the bottom of this box.
Very possible.
No, but I need new steel points. So I think Cosmo's coming out with new ones. So I'm going to have to take a look at those and see if they fit. Because the way I hold my darts, I can't have this like little bulge where the metal meets the road. I mean, where the point goes into the barrel. I like it. I like a nice clean edge there, and I don't like this little tapered, little bulgy thing. I just started getting used to it last night. So, I mean, switching darts is rough when you're playing tournaments. I mean, it takes me a couple of months to really to have a set of darts feel.
Depends on how much you're traveling, how much practice time you get.
No.
Especially when you're spending a week in Atlantic City and then a week in California, and
That was great. My buddy the Grizz sent me a little like message where he's like, "Oh hey brah," waves are up, and he just had his phone showing the waves breaking on Huntington Beach, and I was like, "You're killing me, brah." Because you get in the barrel, man, and it just spits you out, and then you're just pitted, man, and then you just so anyway.
That means
one more break. We'll be right back.
You're listening.
We got a ding. Then we'll take a break.
Well, Dart Zone says the Cosmos are already out, both titanium and stainless steel, 3 different links.
Of points. Okay. Well, I'll have to. Maybe the Dart Zone can email me a link, and I can take a look at them. If you can email that to darttalk@gmail.com. I would like to see those. Or better yet, you could just post them on our Facebook page, the Dart Talk Facebook page. If there's a picture or something. Take a look at them. That'd be helpful.
My chat room's very funny.
Okay. We'll be right back. You're listening to Dart Talk with Chat Room Girl, Mark, and Steve. We'll be right back. Okay, back for the fourth quarter, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks, Windy City Fabricators and Redwood Darts. I'm talking very staccato.
That was very
Just for fun.
Different than before.
Very clipped. I'm very clipped. Yeah, I don't know.
Got to change it up a little bit every now.
Well, I don't know. It's supposed to be funny. What are you laughing about?
The chat room's
the
funny.
chat room's funny tonight.
Can I say that out loud?
Trinidad and Tobago.
Say that
Yeah,
out loud.
the U.S. So my chat room, because they're just so funny tonight. The USA beat both Trinidad and Tobago. Only counted as one match for some reason, though.
Yeah. We got to get Hickories on. Hickories needs to Skype into the show.
He does.
And just by the way, we may have a special in-house guest next week.
Really?
It's not confirmed. It's possible.
All right.
And so that'll be an interesting show, I think.
But we're not going to divulge who it might be because it might not.
No,
happen.
because I'm to the point now where, over doing the show for like over 2 years now, we've had a lot of people that said they'd be on the show, and then for one reason or another, they're not.
Yes.
So I got tired of saying so-and-so is going to be on the show and then being like, oh, by the way, so-and-so isn't going to be on the show.
So now it's
So
just like
some shows have a staff for this, and they effort this.
no,
and
but
then,
now it's just
but we
like,
don't have
hey,
that,
there's a
so.
possibility. So
No, well, it's a
tune in
good
just in case.
It's a very good possibility we're going to have
Right.
an in-house studio guest next week.
Don't-
So that
don't
will
set
be
your expectations too high though, because it might not happen. But
well, it
tune
won't
into
be
the
Paris
show with the
Hilton.
possibility.
It will not be
that
Paris
something
Hilton.
might excite him.
We have not had time to effort that,
No,
but we're doing the best we can. So what's on the
we
agenda?
wanted to talk about your 10 attributes of a professional darter.
Oh, 10. Okay, yeah. So okay. Somebody said we shouldn't really do this. So here's what I was thinking. Were you ever in Boy Scouts?
No, I was in Indian Guides.
Okay, is that different?
Yes.
Okay, not quite so paramilitary, or
Right.
Right. Okay. How about you, chat room girl? Were you a Girl Scout or a
I
brownie?
was a brownie, a Girl Scout, and a cadet.
What's a cadet?
I got to be a camp counselor.
Well, all you need are short pants for that. I mean,
Whatever. No, yeah,
what's a cadet though? I mean, is
here's-
that like an official organization or something?
No,
or?
it's still a Girl Scout. It's a part of Juliet Loeb Foundation. My grandmother was a Girl Scout, and my mom was a Girl Scout, and I was a Girl Scout.
Yeah, I know, but the question is, what is a cadet? Because I do not
It's
know.
just it's like a level.
So it's like people that don't outgrow Girl Scouts become cadets when they're no longer girls?
No, it's
or?
when you're teenagers and you go to camp and you're actually a camp counselor instead of being one of the younger girls.
So,
who isn't.
okay, the Girl Scout camp counselors are called cadets. Oh,
They used to be. Who knows what they're called now?
okay.
It's been a long time.
Well, okay, let me see if I can remember this. So, a scout, a Boy Scout is. I'm trying to remember it. They make you memorize
I
this
can't
thing when
help
you're a
you
Boy
with
Scout.
this.
Oh. Want me to say mine?
Yeah, do you know yours?
On my honor, I will
No,
try.
not that. Your oath of allegiance to some ridiculous organization. Can you imagine what the ADO?
If they had
What
oath
the
of
80
allegiance-
if the ADO was like the Boy Scouts and they made you put up like 3 fingers and be like, okay, I am like an ADO guy and I will never play in the PDC and la-di-da, and I will always diddle every leg, and I don't know. You can have some fun with this.
Right.
Hickories, get on this.
yeah,
Do
Come up-
have
come up
Hickories
with
do
your
the
ADO
ADO oath of allegiance.
yeah, there you go.
Right.
right.
I will spend all my money in Buddy Bartoletta's bar or something. I don't know. Nothing personal, buddy. No, but there's a thing. A scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Okay.
They make you memorize that and say this at every meeting. So how many was that? Did
I
you
don't know.
count? I think
10.
it's 12. So these are
10
like
or 12.
these are ideals,
Mm-hmm.
right? That a Boy Scout is supposed to aspire to, right? So what I was thinking, and I don't know, this is garbage day. This is something we never got to like months ago. But the idea is, okay, now take those 12 things, right? And then substitute one that is an attribute of a dart professional, and could you get 12 of them? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I think so.
Like helpful,
Mm-hmm.
friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. That is 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
just,
I don't
you like the way I count?
I'm still trying to figure out how.
I'm
any
trying
of
to.
those-
You have no idea how far back I go. That I'm proud. I remembered that. That just goes to show you, how ingrained stuff can be
do
when
any
you're a
of
kid.
those
Hickory's
attributes
got it.
finish
Yeah.
or
Well, think
fit
about
into
it.
a professional darter?
Think about it. Helpful.
No.
Well,
We talk about that all the time.
but should they be?
Well, they should be.
What I'm
should
saying is,
be.
like, if you had to come up with the 10 attributes that you would want every dart professional to have,
Mm-hmm.
what would they be? As an example, I'm giving you the Boy Scout ones.
Okay,
So
right.
helpful.
should
like-
be sure.
I remember the first time I played in a pro-am, and Peter Manley was our pro, right? And I don't remember him saying anything helpful, but his girlfriend did. And all she said was, learn how to hit tops. Well, I'd only been playing for less than a year, and, I would double in on the 11 playing 301.
Right.
So I was like, well, tops is pretty far away. She's like, no, you got to learn to hit that. You have to learn to hit tops if you want to be a player. I'm like, okay. It was very good advice when you
Yes.
think about it, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
but helpful, like when I play a blind draw, it's hard sometimes, because beginners get intimidated and stuff like that. It's hard enough to just make them relax. I was listening to Randy Van Duerson was on the board next to me in Vegas at the Darts Live blind draw on Friday night. And it was a parity draw, so they put like the pros with non-pros. I don't know what system they used to, divvy that up because I was on the pro side.
Right.
I felt sorry for my partner. But, he's trying to get his partner to relax, and he's saying, look, I'm the one that's supposed to be nervous, not you. And I kind of was like, really? Because I'm pretty sure it doesn't work that way. But, he's making an effort to help the guy relax because you can't play darts if you're tense and nervous and uncomfortable. You're not going to play your best, right? So that's, talking about, a pro being helpful in a situation where, you're playing a blind draw with an amateur or something like that. I could see that happening. Now, your impression, based on, your experience at tournaments and stuff is that pros are not helpful?
For the most part. We've talked about it. They should be, but they just don't, they don't seem to be. Not all of them, for that matter.
What about you, chat room girl? Chime in without hitting your bell.
Without hitting the bell?
Yes. The bell's for when the chat room chimes in.
I think it's 50-50.
Okay.
I think there are some very good pros who take the time to talk to new players, and I think there are some that are so wrapped up in their own achievements that they forget where they came from and they were a beginner one day.
Yeah, I could see why you would say something like that. I would hate to paint them all with a brush like that. I mean, that's kind of, the rationale, well, it's because of this, that, because they forgot where they came from. I don't know if that's true or not, but...
Most are very approachable, but some are not.
Well, the first thing that you said, why they're approachable and why they're not approachable.
Approachable.
Well, okay.
All right.
Approachable. Write that down. Approachable is good. I like that. I like approachable. Write that down. Somebody.
I'll write it down.
Okay.
Approachable.
Use good penmanship because that way we can read it later. So we have one. Approachable.
We have one.
And then the other one is friendly. Let's see. What's the Boy Scout? Helpful, friendly. Okay. Friendly, I don't know. I mean,
it would have helped to write down the 10 things for the Boy Scouts first, and we could
write them down. I've said them twice. Helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Okay, those are the Boy Scout ones.
I just wrote them down.
So, no, you didn't. I saw that.
I can't write that fast.
Make you listen to the show. So friendly, I mean, you can't ask somebody to be, something they're not. I mean, some guys are a lot more outgoing than other guys.
Right.
And,
and every
Sassy's
day's different, too.
I'm not going to be like the defender of all pro darters, but what I will say is like, whatever it takes a guy to throw his best, he kind of needs to do. And if that means that he's not going to engage in a lot of conversations and a lot of idle chat, then that's kind of the way he is. And then some people are not as outgoing as others, right? It's the same with the women. I mean, with the women pros, some are very
friendly
verbal.
Kind of fits into approachable anyway, because if you're approachable, you're friendly.
Yeah.
So,
okay, so we can combine those two?
I would think so.
Okay, courteous. That's number 3. I think for the most part, pros are courteous. The one thing that's good about pros is that pros ought to know what the etiquette is. Mm-hmm. I hate to see pros that do like kind of gamesmanship stuff. And for some reason, I tend to hear a lot about it. Well, this guy did this guy did that, this guy did that, this guy,
Respectful.
What do you think?
Respectful, yeah, sure.
Kind of like that?
Yeah.
Instead of courteous?
Yeah,
okay.
because...
Well, I could buy that. I could buy respectful.
Because you need to be
I like
respectful.
That. Go ahead and write that one down.
Win or lose, you need to be respectful. So,
Well...
And plus during the match. And
it's funny. I mean, I get accused a lot of thinking things that, I don't think. Like, to give you an example, I was watching these guys play. I was watching these guys play last night, and this one guy had needed one bull to win a cricket game. He was up 2 numbers and 100 points. He goes up, miss, miss, miss. The other guy throws a couple of balls. He goes up again, miss, miss, miss. The other guy goes up again, miss, miss, miss. And at one point, I just kind of looked at the scoreboard, and I just started smiling. And this guy's like, I know what you're thinking. And I'm like, you don't know what I'm thinking. But I was laughing too. And it's like, yeah, but I wasn't, I mean, I just kind of smiled to myself because...
He missed 9 bullseyes?
Yeah, but I knew he was going to miss, is why I smiled. Because I looked at him walking to the line, and the guy looked so uncomfortable. I'm like, there's no way on earth he's hitting one. He's missed 6, and now it's close. There's no chance of hitting
Right.
any. You know, so he misses, and I smiled to myself because I confirmed kind of that, you know, I made the right call, right? But that could easily be misconstrued as, oh, Steve's making fun of that guy because he missed 3 balls. You know what I'm saying? I get accused a lot of that locally. Like, people see something and they immediately, you know, think the worst, you know, which isn't really fair. How did we get on this? What are we talking about?
We're on to respect.
The 10 attributes.
only
Well,
We
yeah.
only have about 3 minutes left, too, by the way, so we gotta get through.
Pretty
the
sure
next
we're not
7.
going to make it. I'm pretty sure we're not going to make it. What do we got so far? We got,
Approachable, respectful.
okay. Is that it?
Oh yeah, we cut out courteous, and we cut out.
Well, because I was talking about gamesmanship and stuff like that, and it's difficult to look at all the pros as one and say, well, this guy's this and this guy's not this. So I think if we come up with like a general ideal,
Yeah,
I
sure.
think
Of
that you'll
course.
see that the vast majority
yeah.
of pros will
Not
will
every
exhibit
Boy
these
Scout,
at.
right. It was all 10 of your.
It was
It's
just
just
an
something you
example
aspire
of
to.
what I'm
Oh.
going for, because I think if we identify this correctly, what you'll see is that almost every professional exhibits these characteristics
Right.
to some degree.
Right.
Ding away.
My chat room. Patience with newcomers.
Patience.
Patience.
Yeah, see, that's something that's like really hard.
Wouldn't
And
that go with approachable,
intelligent
though?
or willing to learn math.
Intelligent and willing to learn math. I
I
don't
like
know what he's
patience-
getting at there, but
I'm not saying alcoholic.
You just said it.
yeah, you just said
I
it.
just said it. I don't know who this is.
And
in
you're the
chat
one
room.
accusing me of being more spacey than normal today.
Yeah, it's
okay,
just it popped
that's
up
awesome.
and yeah. Patience with newcomers. So
Anyway,
patience.
Okay, patience with newcomers, I think.
So just patience.
Isn't
or
that more? That still goes under approachable, though. I mean,
Yeah,
if you're
I know.
talking-
It's
you
kind
can-
of in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
I get the
courteous.
concept.
humble?
See, that's where, well,
Humble.
humble is always good, but humble is a personal attribute that isn't really what I'm going for. What I'm going for here.
Sportsmanship.
Okay, can I finish this sentence
No.
before you pop in here?
Nope.
What I'm going for here is a list of characteristics that all the top professionals share and exhibit.
Competitive.
You know, well, of course they're competitive, but you're looking at an ideal here, right? So what I was going to hope was that we get suggestions that get sent to darttalk@gmail.com,
Right.
because we're not going to have time to finish this today, but we can finish it next week. You know, think about the pros that you most admire and most respect and are most fond of, and then ask yourself, why is that, right?
Right.
What is it that makes this guy
Likeable to you.
more
or-
likable to me than this other guy?
Right.
And it isn't because, this other guy beat me 20 times and I beat this guy once, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because people are kind of like that. I mean, it seems to me that, there's a lot of kind of snarky stuff that
Sure.
goes on. And it always falls on the guys that win the most. And I can only think of a couple of exceptions where I've even though this guy's been pummeling people for over 10 years, I still don't hear a bad word about him. So maybe that's something you guys are talking about, like courteous and patient
Right.
and all this stuff. Sportsmanship and being a good sport. What word would you boil that down into? Like we have respectful and we have approachable. The
Good
good sport. Well, that's 2 words. I want a larger noun that encompasses sportsmanship and patience with newcomers and stuff like that.
Right.
Because even though we're not making a living at this, there's a degree of professionalism that you want to show.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what this list is supposed to be. I know I'm babbling, but I want to come up with a list where you could say, these are the attributes you want to see in every professional,
Right.
just so we have it,
Sportsmanship.
right? And sportsmanship is definitely part
we
of it.
have sincerity.
Okay, sincerity,
Forthrightness,
forthrightness,
gamemanship,
gamesmanship,
and
honorable. I like honorable.
Honorable's good.
Well, honorable encompasses an honorable professional isn't going to try to win with gamesmanship, right? An honorable professional, if you make a mistake on the score, will let you fix it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So a good sportsmanship, I think you could roll that into honorable. So if you want to write down honorable, I think that's a good start. So
Right.
let's
I
end
like
the
that.
show. We got these 3. I know you have to run off, so we got to wrap it up. But So we have 3, and we'll see how many we can get, and we'll see if we get any suggestions. If you have suggestions, send them to darttalk@gmail.com or post them on our Facebook page. You could just go on Facebook, type in Dart Talk, 2 words, and you'll find us.
Yep.
Anything else in the chat room? We'll stay for the after party, but Mark's got to run. So
Any tournaments coming up for you?
I am going to Kentucky this weekend.
Okay.
I'm going to go play in the Easy Money Open, which I played in the last
Sponsored
year. It
by
was a big...
Rodney Dangerfield, or
What?
he was in a movie called Easy Money.
Oh, right. See, I'm thinking of the Ricky Lee Jones song. Easy Money.
Oh.
Ba, ba, ba. Take a ball. Ba, 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 ba. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to go to Kentucky this weekend,
All right.
only because I have to get used to playing with these darts, and I'm running out of time because I got to play the NWDS in New Orleans
Right.
in November, and I don't know if I'm going to make Sacramento, but I need to get used to these darts, so I'm trying to play more often. Which, now that I'm playing more often, I realized I haven't been playing at all since April. Like, very, very, the least I've played since I started playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you got?
Did you do NWDS news?
We did it.
We did.
We did it at the beginning of the show.
About 5 minutes into the show.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So-
was too busy doing trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go play darts
We
this
have it on
weekend.
tape. Where are you playing?
I'm playing in Auburn, Indiana for the Indiana State Moose Tournament.
The Indiana.
State Moose
There's
Tournament.
no moose in Indiana.
There can be.
Oh, you mean like moose, elk,
Yeah.
that kind of thing? Okay.
The Moose Tournament. You're killing me.
Jill asked me what animal I wanted to be. You know how you try to get to know people, you ask them to pick this, that. She's like, so what animal would you be? I'm like, a moose. And she's like, why? I'm like, because I like squirrels.
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yes.
Woohoo.
Jay Ward.
Let me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Jay Ward cartoons are like so the bomb. And there was a Jay Ward statue on Sunset Boulevard, and when I was in L.A., I wanted to go by and see if it was still there, and I didn't have time, so too bad. But anybody, if you're in L.A., take a picture of that for me, because I like that. Next week, maybe a special guest, maybe a special
not.
in-studio guest. We'll have a wrap-up from the...
You won't know until you tune in.
From the WDF Club World Cup. We'll
All right.
wrap up from that and some other stuff.
Go USA.
Yes. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we will Dart Talk to you next week. We'll stay around for the after party. Everybody take care.